Let's talk about tape saturation. Hello everyone, this is Black Marvin for Ghost Hack, and today we take a look at tape saturation. This is actually the part 2 of our saturation series. If you haven't watched part 1, I definitely suggest that you go back and listen to it. We talked about tube saturation, and today it's time for tape saturation, which is hands down one of my favorite types of saturation. In part 1, we also talk about what is the saturation concept in general. We said it came from hardware. Tube saturation especially is meant to emulate the behavior of a tube device. And it's the same for tape saturation. It's meant to emulate the behavior of tape machines. In the studio, they would use different tape machines to get different results and different behavior because it definitely adds something to the sound. Whether it is in terms of fatness, warmness, sometimes even work on the stereo image. It's gonna different models brings different characteristics, and that's what we're going to do today. We're gonna try different tape saturation algorithms. I have a couple I want to show you, and we're gonna listen what it adds to the sound and how you can bring that into your workflow. And maybe you're saying, oh, but my music sounds good right now. I don't use any kind of saturation, or I don't add anything to the sound. But adding tape saturation, it can really make your sound feel more alive, more warmth, give it a bit of vibe, and definitely add something. So maybe you're good right now, but you should try adding some tape saturation. Maybe you won't like it, but maybe you'll get hooked on it like me. It's really something your production can benefit if you don't already do it. So I have it's a track I'm working on right now. The working title is Vacuum, but it's definitely not going to be the final title, but it sounds like this. It's quite simple, kick, bass, snare, and I've just added a lead for the purpose of this tutorial, which is, I don't know if I'm gonna keep it that way, but it's just for the tutorial, so we can have something to play around with the tape saturation. And speaking of tape saturation, there is some on the kick and bass already. This is the kick and bass group, and there's some Ornette tape going on already. First plugin I want to show you, I use it a lot, and what is cool with this one is it's really affordable. All the Ornette plugins are affordable, and they're good plugins. So the Ornette tape, it's meant to, it's a tape simulation machine. So you have 4 models, and obviously they don't say which model exactly it is, but you can guess its model from a Japanese company, American company, Swiss company, you know, you get it. And you have 2 different tape speed for each of them. I definitely recommend that if you are working on a bass or a sound that needs some bass, you don't go for 30 IPS. It doesn't, well, for this one, doesn't behave quite right for that plugin. Usually 15 IPS for bass is good. Just something I thought of. But yeah, you have different tape speed. If you open the plugin, it's gonna come with the S, just like a noise, analog noise. I personally don't want it. You have an auto gain. So the plugin is gonna set up the proper input level and the proper output level. And you can also, you know, choose one that you like, and you can turn off the output compensation and just push it more. I personally stay with the output compensation. So let's cycle through all the different models and let's see if we can hear any valuable difference. Going from the Japan to the American feels a bit thinner, more stuff going on in the high frequencies. Going from the Swiss to the American too, I felt something going on with the, not necessarily a psych signal, but with the stereo image. One more time. Yeah, American definitely the brightest. Let's see if I can push this a bit more. And you can mess with the bias. This is actually working on the more compressing more the high frequencies. Oh yeah, going from 0 to +6, it gives more hair. All right, let's bypass it. Yeah, it's definitely a go-to plugin for me. It's really good. I use it on a lot of sounds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna render a version of the lead with the Ornette tape on it, and we're gonna do the same thing with other tape devices so you can compare how they behave. Now I have the Ozone 8 vintage tape, another tape emulation. You have the tape speed, input drive, so how much you push into the plugin. You have a bias feature like we had on the other one. You have harmonics here that you know, you can, I guess you can push a bit more the harmonic exciter part of the plugin, and there's low emphasis and high emphasis. So first let's start with the tape speed. "30" feels thinner. I'm gonna go with 15. Gonna play with the bias for fun. Sounds choked up when I put it high value here, and in the negative it sounds a bit more emphasis on the high frequencies. Also gave it a bit of input drive, and I feel that this one is the result we have is a bit more, it fattens up a bit the sound. With the Ornette tape we really went with like brighter result, and this one is more like works more in the fat and a bit more warmer sound. Gonna render this one too. Finally, I want to show you the Tesla Pro Mark II transient aware saturator. What it means transient aware is just that they take in account the transient, and you can also kind of shape and work your transient through the saturation process. It's a signal saturator, so I could even have used this one in the tube part one, the tube part, because there's some tube algorithm here, tube stage. I'm gonna use tape warmed, so it's gonna go in the same way as tape behavior. And let's try pushing in the drive and see how the signal is being saturated. This one is free, by the way. The two others are not, but you should have this one in your plugin stash, definitely. So I went definitely went all the way, and you can use the boost to push the input drive so you can have a bit more action going on. And I went all the way, but I didn't touch the out. I went all the way because I didn't feel it was messing up with the signal much. It was not degrading the signal, so I'm gonna play it and bypass it for you. That's great. As long as you don't hit the zero, you're good with this plugin. So that it adds something a bit fatter, and I would say just bolder and a bit more life to it. So I'm gonna render it, and after that we can compare the 3 different versions. So now let's compare the 3 different tape saturated version of the lead that we have. We have the Ornette, the Ozone tape, and the Tesla. I'm gonna play it and give my opinion on it after. I would say my favorite is the Tesla one, and it's a freeware, but it's just my taste, and I could maybe get similar result with the other one, just if I tweak them differently. But I definitely the Ornette tape is great. I just went way too much crazy on the high frequency, so it's just too bright, too like. I don't like it. The Ozone tape is quite fat, and the Tesla is quite fat and powerful. I'd say. It's I feel that the way it works when they say transient aware. It's like snappier. So that's it for tape saturation. Obviously, the 3 versions have been enhanced. It all depends on what you want to achieve in your mix and your personal taste. I hope it makes tape saturation a bit more clear for you, and how also coloring your sound is actually really important in the production process. Don't leave anything uncolored or dry and dull. You know, you need to saturate stuff and give it a bit of life. If you like the tutorial, don't forget to subscribe. There is more saturation content. This is part 2, there's part 3 and part 4 are coming in the future. So if you want to know, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe if you want those nice information, those tutorials coming your way by myself or other Ghost Act producers. I will see you in another video, and until then, I wish you happy saturation, happy tape saturation.